Wednesday, it's Wing Chun and I'm a D-man. We all know that training is really just a continuous revisiting of old information with new thinking. So today I want to revisit a little bit about Wing Chun movements. As I said previously, I really do believe that all of our attacking movement comes from the knives and comes from the pole. Yes, we do have movement in Chum Kyu and Bilji, but there are defensive movements. It's pivoting, it's shifting, it's really small. It's all about redirecting the opponent, moving ourselves offline maybe, but it's really not about attacking, it's about defending. So we really need to look at how we attack, and that, like I just said, is the knives and the pole. There is an element of understanding our moving in Chum Kyu for sure, but it's really about understanding how do I move my body mass. And that we'll come on to that in a little bit later. But first, let's have a little look at how we move with the knives. This is not really about using the knives. This is using the knives as a vehicle for us to understand movements, because it does teach us things without us needing to understand. Now, for people who've played with the knives, they realize there's two ways of moving, even though I use the same mechanics. I can be going here, where I'm really thinking of issuing forwards in a very straight line, and my body is moving in an arc behind my knife or my arm or wherever I'm issuing. And there's also here where I'm allowing the body to move in an arc, and I'm not compensating by taking the knife down the line. And this is really the difference between attacking and defending in everything I do. So if I go here, I'm actually using an arc on the backhand and I'm using a straight on the front hand, which is imperative that I understand both sides need to be individual, both sides need to be independent. It's not really, the whole idea of the circle isn't one circle here, it's one circle here and one circle here. So the knives are teaching us that I want to be able to move here, I want to be able to move here, issuing from one side of my body. This could just as easily be a punch, couldn't it? Could just as easily be a defensive structure. And then from here we look at what the pole brings in, which is going to be linear movement, really linear movement. Let's just look at the pole. So here I am with my pole, really quite nice pole from Tribal Dummies, if anyone's interested, fantastic poles. When I've got the pole, I don't really need to be focusing too much to know I want to move to the end of this pole. I don't need to worry, where do I put my foot? I put my foot under the pole, otherwise I can't bring the pole where I want it to go. So we can see that the pole is really teaching me how to move in this nice straight attacking line. It also teaches me that it's the body that does the work. It's not really me using my arms, it's the body. If I'm keeping the pole perfectly still, all of these things happen because of my body manipulating the pole, and my arms are doing very, very little. So the pole is teaching us to move in nice straight lines. And you know, when you are playing with your pole, obviously you'll be having one preference because you'll be left or right-handed, but you must learn how to use it on both sides, otherwise you're really ripping yourself off. So I will look now at how we combine these different elements of all of our forms, and in particular a concept known as stealing a half step. Now the half step is basically when we do this in Chum Kyu. When we're coming here in our Chum Kyu, we're not shifting, we're actually advancing. We're advancing a very small amount, advancing a half step. When we integrate this half step and then add the curving step from our knives, we get a situation where I'm stepping forward towards the bad guy, everything focuses here, he's really sure this is what's happening, but I'm here and then whooshka, I'm here. I'm through really quickly. It's too quick for him to do anything about. It can be either side, I'm here, boom, too quick to be doing anything about. And of course the circular nature of this step is taking my guard and rotating my ball so my defense is becoming automatic. It can also happen if I'm being attacked. Guy's battling down on me, I take a step back, he thinks you beauty, he hasn't got a line, and I can very quickly bring myself around. So he's coming at me, it's boom, I'm here, wacko. He's coming at me, I'm here. I'm able to move offline, make distance, and confuse his senses. In the forms, we tend to work in very small spaces, linear, but I have to move where I have to move. So I could go sideways. My half step could take me here, and I'm moving away. My half step could take me here, and I'm moving away. In general, if I'm going to move, I want to move to a position that puts me in a very strong place and weakens his position. So I would be stepping forwards on a diagonal. I would be stepping over here and then allowing that round step from the knives to bring me around. I would be stepping over here, allowing that round step from the knives to bring me around. Most of you will have done these movements just by playing. You just don't realize that we have a form where we can study them. Let's look at doing this with a partner. So want to have a look now, putting it in action. I'm going to get Amanda to help me. She's going to use a knife just to give us that little bit more distance so we can see what's going on. Not that I'm necessarily saying this is against the knife. So she's trying to stab me, boom, I'm gone. So we can see the step takes me away, and that last little rotation takes, so I've gone here, take that away. The last rotation takes me quite a long way out of the line of the attack. I can be on this side, she comes again, I'm here, the last rotation takes me out. Then I can be looking at similar move to the pole to me to move back in and bring myself forward. So half step back, rotation, straight forward, whether it's an elbow or whatever. We can see how this half stepping is really, really important. I can go, if she uses the other arm, simply so we can see, I can go sideways. We can see now it's put me in a much stronger position, put Amanda in a very weak position. I can now bring my weapons to bear simply by using the half step. So there we have it. When we're moving, whether we're aware of it or whether or not, we really need to be thinking of our knife form. And you know, there's a lot of different moves in the knife form where I'm pressing down one leg. I need to understand that I'm issuing from only one side. We have to totally get rid of this idea of this important center. There is no center. When you get to the advanced stages of Wing Chun where you're using, and by advanced I mean just basically you're in a fight, there is no form, there is no shape, there is no structure. There's just balance, body unity and movement. What kind of day is it for you?